All right, hey, it's Mike here with MakeOnce.com. And in this video, I want to share with you that if you're someone that maybe doesn't like their job or doesn't like their current lifestyle, or maybe you want more options and you're just honestly tired of waking up with a headache because you know you can do it, you know you're worthy of it, but you just don't know how to do it. You don't know what model there is. And if that's how you're feeling, if you're feeling like hopeless, you're feeling like stressed, you're wondering like, what am I actually going to do? I think this video is going to serve you quite well. So you're going to want to keep watching here. So we're going to go over some of this stuff. And I'm going to give you the model. Okay. I titled this Breaking the Slave, the slave to maybe your job or your boss, or maybe even yourself. Right. And I want to give you this online business model that can actually set you free. It set me free because I was the same way. I was like, man, I can't work for somebody, but I need something that can help me break through, break free. And so if you have the heart to do it, if you have the balls to do it, and you use this math that I'm going to share with you, you can get to freedom, okay? So you might be wondering, like, why does this matter? Well, in today's world, with the internet and, people's intense interest to learn, I mean, you're watching this to learn, right? There's actually a projection out there from this research firm. They said $645 billion industry, the e-learning industry, by 2030. And so that's pretty cool. That's a lot of opportunity. It's at like 300 billion something right now, about $1 billion a day. So you can see it's going to almost double in the next 5, 6, 10 years, whatever, right? So it's an opportunity going forward, and it's something that you can do from anywhere. It's something that you can do from your computer, your phone. You have an internet connection, and you can do this, okay? And the tools today are so much easier to learn. Back when I got started, it was a lot more difficult. And if you have the right tools, you can just radically change your entire world in the next 90 days. If you just follow this and you're consistent with it, and you take a look at what I've got here for you, it'll really get you in the right direction. I wish somebody would have shared this with me when I was actually younger, like when I was in high school or something like that, because I actually spent a lot of time searching and wondering what I was going to do, because I wanted something where I could be anywhere, where I could work from anywhere, where I could do whatever I wanted to do something that I love to do, and then actually get paid for it, handsomely, so that I could have nice things, go places, help my family, and just have options at the end of the day, freedom and time. And I just didn't see that coming with a job. And if maybe you're in a job now and you want out and you already see that, or maybe you're just like wondering, man, is this it? Is this the same thing I'm going to be doing each and every day? I mean, my son and his friends, and I talk to them, and they're just like, I don't want to go do the whole corporate thing. I don't want to have to do all that. And then I talk to grownups where they're like, I'm tired of going to the job, I'm tired of having a boss, but they don't know what to create. They don't know what to do. But that's what the internet's given us here. And that's why this matters to you. But the problem is, most people, okay, they don't know what model is going to help them actually break the slave, break this monotony of this pattern that you're in, this loop. It's like we're just these, robots each day, just doing the same thing over and over and over. You get up, you do the exact same pattern over and over and over, and it's like, man, there's got to be more, right? So I get that, and the challenge is you don't know how to create an offer, right? Or you're maybe thinking it's so much harder than it actually is. And then if you did have an offer, maybe you don't know how to market the offer, like how to use the internet to sell it. And then how do you actually set up a system where it can pay you daily, and it can pay you, while you're sleeping, while you're out and about, while you're, we're getting ready to go to a track meet with, my son. He runs, he runs, and he's going to run in college, and so we obviously go support him, but we can go do that. And this video is out there working for me, right? The content that I put out there is out there working for me, sharing how I can help people and taking people back to my website and generating leads and turning into sales. And you can do the same thing. It's not like, I'm special or something. I've got the model, I've got the system, and, it took me a long time to figure this stuff out, but, I'm here to help you not have to take that long, okay? So if you have the heart, okay, if you have the heart to want to do more, if you have that feeling like you're meant to do something more, and you have the balls to actually take action and make a change in your life, like you're going to actually do something about this, And if you can realize this simple math that I'm going to share with you, I think maybe I could open up something for you, give you some clarity on something here, okay? So you can break free, and you can live a tremendous life of great profits. You can have happy customers, and you can have actual freedom from financial constraints and time constraints, and you can design your life with this model, okay? So how do we fix this? Well, I want to first talk about the model that actually can set anyone free. If you do have the desire to be more, if you do want to do it, this can do it, okay? So I want to share this model with you, okay? Now, I'm just taking some stuff I've got a program called Build Lab. It's an online program in a community, and it's a course that you can follow. It's just step by step, click by click. It's these pillars, right? I take you through these 9 pillars here, and I just show you how to go from where you are to where you want to be, where you have time freedom. You can reach financial freedom. Really, the sky's the limit with this, and with the opportunity that we have in front of us with the e-learning market, as I shared earlier, $645 billion by 2023, and it's at like 300 something billion now. That's more than doubling, and that's a lot. Okay, there's plenty of the pie for everybody. But in this program, I just I show you the raw materials, like what's the business model? How do you find your customer? How do you create your message? How do you create an offer? And then I actually show you how to put together an offer. Then I show you how to create lead magnets that attract people to your website organically. I show you how to create a sales video. I show you how to create a funnel and the website and everything. And I've pre-built all this stuff for you. You just got to go in there and make it for you. Then I show you how to do organic marketing. I show you how to do email marketing and how to show up on YouTube, just kind of like this is a YouTube video, okay? And then I show you how to use AI and, if you want to use ads and retargeting, and I'll show you how to outsource and just, things that can save you time and help you scale essentially. So that's what it is. And I just took out some of the stuff here to show you this model because I want you to be able to see this, okay? So here's what actually happens, right? You've got people, 90% of people, all right, they're out there and they're putting in all this like effort, right? You're putting in all this time, 8 to 10 hours a day, some of you even more, 12 to 16 hours a day, and you're getting very little output, right? You're to be a top 1% earner in the United States at least, you need to be making, over $1,000 per day. Okay, and so that's what I'm going to base this on, how to get to $1,000 per day. That's the model I'm about to show you here. What the other 10% do that have time, that have leverage, that make, abnormal amounts of money, and that have, control and freedom and stuff like that, they figured out a way to put in minimal amount of effort and get high output, right? So they can do a little bit of work and they get really high returns on that, okay? Because they're, creating massive amounts of value and they're using the internet in this case, right? There's a lot of ways to do this, but I'm going to show you the most simple way that I know how. And I really haven't seen a model that's, better than this from what, if you're coming from a place that you don't have any kind of, specializations or anything like that, you can, anybody can do this, honestly. If you just focus and you're consistent and you care and you stick to it, you can do this, right? So the model looks like this, right? So what we do is you're essentially, and let me back up here a little bit. So the way we make money, anyway, is by doing this here. You find somebody that has a problem, okay? This would be their current situation. And then you figure out how to solve that problem for them. There may be several steps that you take to solve that problem. And if you can get them across this gap, right, they'll give you their money, right? They'll pay you to get the pain to go away faster, easier, and maybe in a better way, right? So with the internet, what's cool in the e-learning space, you can educate people. You can learn a skill, or maybe you have a skill. Most of us have a skill already. We just don't realize how valuable it can be. And then you create a program, right? Maybe it's like this, okay? Like for instance, what I teach in our program is you want to create a program that is essentially 3 phases here. Let me get my little drawing pin out. It's 3 phases, And each one of those phases, let me make this a little smaller. Each one of those phases, okay, so you can, let me get this even smaller actually. Each one of these phases, okay, so you got your 3 phases. Each phase, if you break it up like this, has 3 steps to it, or 3 pillars in my case, right? And you just set it up this way, right? So it doesn't matter what you're doing. This is the model, right? You'll have a 3 phase. Think of it as like, for me, it's like you have to have the raw materials first before you can, have a business, right? And what are these raw materials? Well, the raw materials are, you need to understand the model and the math. You need to understand the problem that you're solving and who that person is that has the problem. And then you need to understand what kind of solution you're going to create to solve that problem. And then you need to have a message that when you go out to the marketplace with it, the people that have the problem go, oh, I get it. Okay, I got it. This person can help me. And then you create that program, right? Which is what we're talking about now. And you create this roadmap. Like, see this little roadmap that I'm using to talk to you with? You'd create one of these. I created one of these with a free program, which I show you how to do in my Build Lab course. But you create one of these so that you can do what I'm doing with you right now. You can actually show somebody the map of how to get out of the woods. And the woods in this case is you wanting to replace your 9 to 5, or you wanting to maybe have something where you're selling a physical product, you'd rather sell a digital product because there's so much leverage. There's 90% plus profit margins, and you can be a 0 employee business or a 1-person business, and you can make several million a year comfortably. And so, maybe that's what you want, right? And you lay it out. So you have these 3 phases, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and then you have 9 pillars, all right? You get them essentially from A to B, okay? And that's why they would pay you. And then each one of these pillars now, you break it down to where you have 3 modules per pillar. So 9 times 3, 27 modules. So that's the framework of the course, okay? Now, if this is kind of going over your head a little bit, then maybe you need to just keep watching it or rewatch it or something like that. But you want to have this is your program, right? This is a digital program. You're going to record this. It's going to contain some resources, some PDF files, some videos. And that's your program, okay? That's like your offer. That's your product offer, okay? Right here. Then you put that inside of a community where they can go in there and they can actually, like in this case, they can go to the classroom right here. This is the one, like Build Lab is this for me, right? So they have a classroom, they have a calendar, you can see all the members in it, they can search, do all of that. And they have this community here where they can connect with other people that are trying to solve the same problem or get to the same outcome, right? So with that, you then have a place so that when they pay you, you let them into here and they can go through this program right here and they get to the other side, right? What they wanted, the outcome. So that's the second part of it. So you need a private support community with the course in it. And then I do live weekly calls with mine. So you'd want to do the same thing, because as people are traversing through this, they're going to have questions, right? No matter what, if you're trying to figure something out, you've got to have the blueprint, you've got to have support, and then you've got to have the heart to want to do it and complete it. You've got to have these 3 things. So without it, it literally becomes impossible, okay? And so you also learn a lot in here. So when you get on these weekly calls to help people, like when I get on the weekly calls to help my clients or my members of my program, I learn so much when I'm talking to them on these weekly calls. So I do a call with them every Monday and then every Thursday, and then I record those and I add them back into this member area. And so every week the course gets more powerful. There's more and more answers in there. Matter of fact, I just had a guy, we were on the one on Thursday, it's Friday right now, and he literally said, he's like, I was able to jump on midway through Mike's Zoom, and it helped me tremendously with certain areas of focus. And through Mike's personal story and journey, I learned things he has learned throughout his life that reflect he definitely has vast knowledge and implementation, and it's helping me get down the road. So it's like, and that's just one, right? I mean, I've been doing this since 2007, so you've got like that you're helping people, right? You've got to help people, right? That's how you make money. All right. It's like the only way to get money is to solve problems. The more problems you solve, the more money you make. So the more money you have, the more problems you've solved. It's really a beautiful thing. But this is the model, right? You want to have a model like this. Okay. Now I'll go deeper into this in some other videos. And, if you have questions about this, just go down in the description and, let me know, or sorry, down in the comments and let me know, what kind of questions you have, and I'll make some more videos over it. But the process that we go through, once you have your offer and your community tools and your support set up so that you can sell this thing, okay, then you go out there and every day you're trying to attract people into your system. And this system right here is an automated machine that converts people. And then they convert, and because it's automated, that's where you start getting your time back. So you can do the work one time. You can essentially, as I call the company, make once, right? You can make this once and profit from it forever. You can make this right here once, and you can sell it thousands and thousands of times. That's where this leverage thing that we were talking about comes from, right? I can do a little bit of work one time, and then it can sell over and over and over and over and over and over again, right? Whereas the other person, they have to trade time, right? I'm trading bits over here, and this person's trading time, and time is finite, so you only get so much of it, right? So obviously, you can only do so much. You can only get so much output with that type of model. But with this model over here, you can duplicate yourself and sell bits over and over and over again, right? It's like a hit single, okay? So that's what I'm sharing with you, okay? This is a very powerful model if you can get your head around it. I know this isn't for everybody, and most of those people probably already left the video, but so we attract, convert, and then we deliver on our promises, right? So it's like I have this fractal marketing method I'll cover in other videos, but it's essentially how you can do organic marketing that lives out there. Like this video obviously isn't live. You're watching it. I'm doing something else. And it's out there working for me, but then I can take bits and pieces of this of this video, and I can use it to do, my daily marketing. And this is organic. So this video lives out there working for me over and over and over again. Who knows when it is that you're seeing this? You might be seeing it right away after I created it. It might be 2 years from now, right? And it continues to attract people that want to learn how to do this system, and it attracts them over to my automated machine, okay? Which is in our program. This is step 6 inside of my program that I teach here, the Build Lab program, right? So once you have this automated machine set up, it's got these follow-up emails that go out, and they're connecting with people, and they're showing people how you actually solve their problem, right? What it's doing is it's showing them how this model right here works to solve their problem. And so, like I said, remember when I said that you get paid when you get somebody from here to here, right? When you take somebody from the state where they have this trouble to where you get them to where they've solved the problem, that's when you get paid, okay? So we can set up a whole machine that does that and automates that. And I guarantee you, if there's something that you're passionate about, there's probably another 1,000 people out there at least that would be incredibly passionate about it. And think about this. What if you just had 1,000 people per month giving you $50? What if you had 1,000 people, what if it took you a year, right? But you had 1,000 people at the end of that year that were giving you $100 a month? You'd be a millionaire, right? So, people think, oh, well, saturation and all this stuff, and I couldn't do it. You need 1,000 people. There's 8 billion people on the planet. What is 1,000 people out of 8 billion? It is like 0.000000001%, right? So we're not talking about, having to do something crazy here. We just have to have the right system, the right model, and then we have to put that into play. And so there's these different types of offers that you can create. They're all digital. You can do like high ticket. I teach you how to do all 4 of these stages, right? So, you can have high ticket offers. They can be one-time offers or recurring. They're all digital, okay? You can have like a pillar offer, which is like what my Build Lab is, okay? It's a pillar offer. And, this is like the main thing that drives your business. And the problem I solve is I show creators, entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, course creators, experts, authors, people like that. I show them how to launch and grow an online e-learning program business, right? And it allows them to, make abnormal money. It gives them time, and it's a business model that can be ran with very, very minimal things. I mean, I just the other day was listening to a guy. He makes $2.7 million a year, and it costs him less than $700 a month to run his whole entire business, and he runs it by himself. And he's got time, and like, there's not a person listening to this that wouldn't imagine only having to spend $700 a month to run a business that can make over $200,000 a month. Like, who would be like, oh, that sucks, right? So that's what I'm sharing with you, though. That's what this is. And I remember when I first discovered it, I was like, holy crap, this is unreal. I cannot believe this has been out there the whole time, and I didn't know how to do it. So that's the business model, right? And again, if you have any questions, just use the comments down below. Obviously, I can't go into everything right here, but I want to get you pretty close. So how do we find the problem that we're going to solve? That's the big question always, like, well, how am I going to come up with the solution, right? Or how do I create the offer? Or how do I market if I don't have ad money or without ads anyway? Like, I like making money without having to spend money on ads, okay? So how do you do that? Well, I have this in this part of the program right here, okay? In step 2, the perfect customer blueprint, pillar number 2 inside of the program, I show you, this is just a little bit of it here. This is kind of the program as a whole, and it's even more than this now, but you see this little niche map thing right here? That's what I'm going to be talking to you about in this very second here. If my little thing would operate properly for me. Sorry. So anyway, hope you're liking this, by the way. All right, so the niche, what you do is you go out and you think about your passion. Like, you know, who would help? Who would you help for free? Think about the long haul. What would you like to do for the next 20 years if you could do anything you wanted, right? You know, what do people tell you you're good at? What comes easy to you? So you make a list of those things, right? So that would be your passions and interests. You know, maybe list out 20 things. And then think about is there a problem? You know, is there search volume? Are people searching things? You know, is the market growing? Can you solve something, you know, better, cheaper, faster, figure out how to do that, you know, teach somebody how to do that? And there's a lot of ways to do this, right? You can buy pre-made courses that solve a problem, and you can add your thing to it. Those are called PLRs, okay? Those are, you know, basically you're giving somebody resale rights, private label rights. And the way I go out and look at the market is I look at my skills and abilities, and I list out, you know, 20 of those. And then, you know, when I'm listing those things out, all 20, let's say that's 20, I'll star like the top 3, and then I'll circle my top 1. And I'll do that for this one as well. And then so I've got this little overlap figured out. Then I'm like, is there any market demand where my passions and skills and abilities come together and meet? Because if I find that, that's the sweet spot, okay? That's what we're looking for. And, you know, usually your first business in this isn't going to be the one that you end with, but it gets you started, and it gets you, you know, you get your chops, you figure out how to do it, things like that. But what I do is I open up a Google Docs, I go to YouTube, and I use this program called vidIQ. And what I do is, and I'll actually show you this. Let me go over here. Yeah, let's see here. Let me see if I can find the little sheet. Yeah, here we go. So what I do is, I'll go deeper into this some other time, but what I do is basically I find all these comments. I can use this tool right here, and it'll filter all the comments of these videos. So I'll go to YouTube, act like I'm a customer that has this problem. Maybe it's, you know, how to be a DJ, or maybe it's, you know, how to be a better fisherman, or how to sew, or, you know, how to do math, or, you know, how to work out, or whatever, right? You're helping somebody make a transformation. I'll go out there on YouTube and I'll act like I'm them. I'll have my Google Docs open, and I start finding all these questions, right? So people will literally, you know, watch a video about how to do something, and then they'll still have all these questions. That's how I find it, is using these tools right here. And then what I do is I start to find, I do pattern recognition. I keep seeing, wow, everybody that's watching these videos still has these questions. They're still wondering what to do. They're still trying to figure this out. And so what I'll do is I'll go figure out how to do that. I'll spend the time to figure out how to do that. And then I set up this little funnel here, okay? And I've already set all this stuff up for you inside of my program Build Lab. But I set all this stuff up. I set up my email automations to go out. And then I've got, I just do a simple whiteboard video right here to get this done. And I want to show you this in a little bit closer detail here. Let's see here. There we go. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just put a plain page together like this, and I'll get somebody to opt in with their name and email. I'll just go out on these platforms here. These are my favorite. You can pick your favorite, but I'll go live on TikTok. I'll post on YouTube, which is where this video is, and then I'll cut it up and I'll put it on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll put it on these places and just drive organic traffic over here to this landing page. And it just basically has a headline, sometimes a subheadline, some bullets. They can click a button here. If they click on this, it just opens up this window right here. Okay. They opt in and they go onto my email list. So then it subscribes to me. This all happens automatically without me right now. Okay. And then an email goes out right away that drives them back to this page. And then it waits for like a day. And then it comes in here and it asks the question, did they buy? Okay, did they sign up for my program? If they did, it just ends the automation. If they did not, it sends another email out. And it keeps repeating this process. And I'll go into these other things, in maybe another video or whatever, but I create these value train, I call them my value train pages. I create these pages and my emails just show them how I can solve their problem, okay? And we've got an email framework that we use, and I go over that in Pillar 8 with you. But I just keep sending them back to this, and this just keeps going on and on and on forever, okay? I stopped at like 3 levels here. But, and all these emails and everything, they're really cool. I've got a process for you inside of Build Lab where I show you how to do it in a very simple way. And it's powerful. We use we use some AI tools, and it just makes life easy. But essentially what happens is I go out there and I test, right? So I found this problem. Okay, I went back and I found this problem on YouTube, because that's where people go to learn things, right? And it's like the second most visited place on the planet online. It's a search engine. People go there to learn things. And so what I do is I go do that. I find, like I said, I go find these patterns. I find out what problems are. I find a way to solve these problems, and I create like a blueprint like this, right? And so I go out there and I test it, and I'm like, is this going to actually sell, right? And so what I do is I don't go crazy. I just put together a simple, let's see here. I just put together a simple whiteboard video, as you can see here. Nothing fancy. And you might even have seen one of these from me. I put together a simple whiteboard video, and then I basically show them how I can solve their problem, and they can either go join my program or they can set up a call with me, and we can see if I can help them solve their problem. It's very simple, and you can run this thing from anywhere, right? And then they would go to the next page where they can, if they decide to join, they can come here and join. And then on the final page, I have it set up so that it's like, here's a video of how to get started, here's your receipt, and here's access to your program, and then they get access to Build Lab or whatever. Or when you're testing, you would find out what actually works, right? And so what I'm trying to tell you is you can set this little machine up. Like I said, I've already set this all up for you, inside of the program, of course. But you could look at this and follow it. Probably some of you can figure it out from there. But when you have this playing for you in the background, then once this is all set up, so you have your offer, okay? You figured out who your audience is. You've got this funnel in place, okay? It's all automated. You've got your follow-up in place. Then each day you're working on marketing your business, driving people to it, and you're creating educational content that shows people how you can solve their problem, and you make them offers, right? The more offers you make, the more money you make. And the reason you're making money is because you're helping people solve problems, okay? So we go out there and we find out, who our niche is by doing that process. It's actually really quite simple. You just have to spend the time to do it, okay? Like I said, heart, balls to do it, and then the math. So let's jump into the math here, and then we'll wrap this up, okay? So let's just say your goal is 1,000 a day, because that's like, top 1% income earner. If you made that times the year, that's 365,000 a year, okay? So, and maybe you're at this already. You can still use this math to double it or triple it or whatever, okay? This is just, we're using easy math here so that you understand it. So the rule of 1,000 is, typically, the people that opt in, remember this little funnel right here? The people that opt in from this page to this page, on average, this is a objective number. It's not just me. You can go look this up, okay? The average sales page is going to close 1 to 5% of the leads. So if we had 1,000 leads, essentially we'd make 10 to 50 sales. So what is the rule of 1,000? The rule of 1,000 is once you have an offer, Once you have something that you can present to somebody, like your funnel and your presentation video, and you've got your program, okay, for every 1,000 leads, effectively, math, documentation beats conversation, right? Math, these numbers don't lie. You should be making 10 to 50 sales per month. So if we know that, then now it's real simple. We've got a benchmark. It's like, when somebody joins Build Lab, our goal is to get them set up with their program, their offer, get their system in place, help them understand the marketing, and get them to 1,000 leads as quickly as humanly possible. Now, this isn't just going out and buying leads. This is building the leads the correct way, okay? And so you get 1,000 leads at 1 to 5%. And the reason it's 1 to 5 is because maybe this is a more inexpensive product here. So you would maybe sell 5% versus something that's maybe more higher ticket, you would sell closer to 1%, okay? And then let's say that the lifetime value of a customer that joins your program is, we're just using easy math here, okay? And I show you how to charge anywhere from $50,000 a year to $49, right? Like you build them all out over time. It takes several years to build the whole thing out, but you can get this thing that I'm talking to you about, what we're talking about here with this math, you can get this figured out in 90 days. I've seen people do it in less, okay? So let's just say your offer, your digital program, your subscription program, your digital product, your course, okay, the thing I showed you, let's just say that the lifetime value of a customer is $1,000, okay? So when you get a customer, you make $1,000. So to make 1,000 a day, then we need to make 1 sale per day. You follow? Okay. So how many leads do we need per day then? Well, to get 1,000 leads in a month, okay, to get 1,000 leads in a month, you need like 33 leads a day. Okay, but if we want to make 1 sale a day, and let's assume that we're only making a 1% conversion, okay, we're going to play this down. I don't want to overhype it, okay, but we want to get 1 sale per day. So if we have 100 leads at 1%, that's 1 sale per day. So how many leads do we need per hour? Well, if we need 100 leads a day, and there's 24 hours in a day, we need 4 leads per hour, okay? And I put 24 hours because this thing works for you all the time. Like, again, this video is not live. You're watching this, God only knows, what time it is or when it is or whatever, right? But you're watching it. So the point is it works for you 24 hours. So we scan it off of that. You can adjust this number to figure out how many leads you would need in an 8-hour work day or whatever. But I promise you, the work that you might be doing for somebody else, making somebody else rich, if you put that same amount of effort into this, and you learned how to actually market using our fractal marketing method that I teach you in this pillar right here, and you did that every day consistently, you treated it just like you would your job or just like you would anything else, where you show up each and every day, just like you brush your teeth, and you plug in and you follow these steps here, okay, you can go from where you are right now to where you want to be, and it can consistently grow for you. And you're building an asset here, okay? Each day that you do your marketing, you're actually building an asset that can either be sold or can continue to give you that time and financial freedom that you're looking for in your life, okay? And there's just simple stages to this, right? You got to get the raw materials. You need your business model, your customer, your offer, your message, build the product, have a lead magnet, something that generates leads for you. You need to have a video that sells your stuff. You need your funnel, your website, and your email set up. You need your marketing system and process. You need to know how to build an audience, turn your audience into a community, and turn your community into customers, and then that loops, okay? It's like a flywheel, okay? And then you need to, if you want to keep going, above 1,000 a day, then you need to know how to supercharge traffic, use these AI tools so that you can be even more powerful and get more done with less work. And then you can learn to outsource, where you can find people that can help you do things, right? So when you get these things together, all right, then you have everything that you need to really break free, break the slave, right, as I call it. So, hopefully this helps you. And, at Make Once, it's like we follow this thing, right? In all parts of the day, it's like we're always thinking about, how can we make our offer better, right? How can we make this thing faster, better, easier, more fun, less cost and time and money? And then, we are constantly making offers. How can we continue to make offers? If we're not making offers, we're not making money. So, okay, pretty simple there. We got to know how to do that. And then we have to serve results. Like we have to actually, make good on our promise. We have to actually solve the problem, okay? And so, we have these simple tools that we can use today. I've got people that are in their 70s that are doing this, that have a flip phone that figured out how to do this. So again, if you have, like I said earlier, if you have the heart, you have the balls to make a change in your life, and you have math, and you're consistent, you can really do this, okay? So we talked about these three things. What's the bigger picture? Well, the bigger picture is when you consistently show up each day and you show people how you can solve their problems, and you build a list of people that have the problem that you can solve, and then you sell the people on the list the solution to their problem, this is what unlocks life's greatest gifts, right? It unlocks, you'll have an empowering life. You'll be helping people, making a difference. You'll be helpful, which is what you have to be to make money. And then you'll open up the full options in your life. You can change things about your life that you can only do with money, okay? Money's not a bad thing. It's what we get for helping people. So now what? Well, if you liked what I shared with you here in this video, go ahead and, like it. If you want to subscribe, I'm going to be doing more videos like this, going into different parts of this. But what I shared with you today, as I said, it's just a tiny part of my 9-pillar process, okay? What I shared with you today is just a tiny part of what we do in this entire process. And, for me, I feel driven to help people figure this out because of how much it's changed my life. So, if you want to think about this in a bigger way, you can have your own Build Lab type program, okay? You can learn how to build one of these programs. And if you want to see how that actually works and like more components to what I'm sharing with you here, I created a free demo. I got a downloadable blueprint for you and a free training that's more intense than this one, where I go into the depths of what this thing is, and it shows you, the rest of this machine. And you can figure that there's a link to that down in the description. But I'd like for you in the comments, if you could just share, like, what are your biggest questions about what we talked about today? And what were some of the unlocks that you had in this video? And if you put that stuff down in the comments and you do that for me, it helps me make better videos for you so that I can actually help you along the way here. Because that's the goal of this channel. That's the goal of what I'm doing, is I want to help as many people as I possibly can to figure out this model and take advantage of this because of the kind of life it can give you. And this can just be a stepping stone to the next thing. For some people, this is all they ever needed. When you can do something like this where you can make, a couple $1 million a year consistently and have free time, and be able to work, 2 to 4 hours per day or less many times, and you can create that kind of income, it really gives you a really nice life. So I hope this reaches you well. I really enjoyed making this for you, and I look forward to helping you inside of Build Lab, hopefully. And again, if you like this type of stuff, just let me know and I'll create more of it for you. Okay? So I'll see you in the next video.